Good morning. Hello and welcome to this 30-minute yoga sequence. Today we are going to be doing asanas and practicing some breathwork techniques to start, all based around our solar plexus chakra. So our solar plexus is located above the belly button and beneath the sternum, and it's associated with the color yellow. So for today's practice, I'm going to pull out citrine, which is just a nice little stone, a nice little crystal. It's also associated with manifestation. And so, as I was saying before, the solar plexus, its element is fire, and it's about creating heat within the body. So it's about passion, about drive, motivation, your truest self, and what kind of brings that forth. So today we're going to start with our legs crossed. If you have tight hips, you can sit on a bolster or cushion just to elevate the hips to help keep a straight spine. So we want to make sure the back is nice and straight and that the pelvis isn't tilted backwards, creating a little bow in the back. So we want to sit up nice and tall. You can close the eyes. We're going to roll the shoulders a couple of times. And then we'll allow them to rest down the back. And we're going to start to take in some long, slow, deep breaths. We'll start by breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth. With each breath, start to draw your mind, its awareness to the body. Dropping out and away from any thoughts, anything that you came to the mat with today. You can visualize the thoughts floating off on the breath. Starting to visualize a spacious mind and nothingness. Taking a few more breaths here as you allow the body and the mind to settle. You can also start to check in with the body, noticing what you can feel, noticing the body's points of contact with the mat, noticing the temperature of the air surrounding you, noticing your clothing against your skin, and then turning your awareness inward, connecting to the muscles, the joints, the connective tissues. Starting to notice any stiffness, tightness, noticing any tension that you might be holding, just observing, just checking in and becoming aware. We're now going to seal the lips and we're going to breathe in and out through the nose. Taking in a few breaths, noticing how this feels within the body. Noticing the air as it passes in through the nose, its temperature, traveling down through the throat and filling and expanding the lungs. Feeling the chest broaden, feel the space the air takes up inside the body. And then allow the weight of the chest to help exhale, breathing out through the nose. As the solar plexus is associated with fire, it's associated with our digestive organs and the heat that creates to fuel the body and give us energy. It's about the fire that we feel inside of us. And so this morning we're going to be starting with the Ujjayi breath, breathing in and out through the nose. And when you feel comfortable too, slightly restricting the throat to make the sound like an ocean. It creates a heat within the body, it warms us up, and it stimulates the sacral chakra, the solar plexus chakra. So you'll feel it within the throat when the air passes through. You'll start to feel the heat within the chest. With each breath, you can visualize the solar plexus, you can visualize the yellow swirling light. With each breath, like what air does to fire, the air from the breath fueling the fire of the solar plexus. Feeling this energy center expanding, growing, spreading across the body. A few more breaths here. Sitting with this energy center, with this breathwork technique. Observing your prana, your life force. Three more breaths. And then allowing your breath to return to its natural rhythm. Gently rolling the shoulders again. Starting to notice if you can feel the fire within the belly. And then slowly walking the legs out in front, bending and straightening through the knees, through the ankles. You can gently massage the legs, just starting to get the blood flowing all the way down to our toes. Straightening through both legs, drawing the toes back towards you, lifting up through the chest, engaging the hip flexors. So feeling the muscles or the tendons within the hips pulling you up nice and tall. Inhaling the hands up to the ceiling and exhale, folding forward. So this is the first forward fold we're doing. So if you can't quite reach your toes, placing the hands on the shins, lifting up through the chest, and with each out breath, walking the fingertips closer to the ankles. If you can reach your toes, tucking the chin to the chest, allowing the upper body to hang and drop here. Keep lengthening through the spine. Taking in a few breaths. One more. And then inhaling the hands back up to the ceiling and down by your sides. We're going to bend through the left knee, drawing it into the chest, pulling it in nice and close. We're going to start to rotate the left ankle. Keep drawing the right toes back towards you. And then rotating back in the opposite direction. and back to center. Placing the foot on the mat, allowing the left knee to fall out to the left side. Sitting up nice and tall, inhaling the hands up to the ceiling and exhale, folding along the right leg. A few deep breaths as you sink a little bit lower. Starting to feel the posterior chain as it stretches. And then inhaling the hands up to the ceiling, taking the right hand towards the left knee, the left hand behind the body as you twist and look behind. Keep drawing the right toes back towards you. And inhale the hands and torso back to center and lower down by your sides. Drawing the left knee back up to center, straightening through the left leg. Drawing in the right knee to the chest, pulling it in nice and close. Start to rotate the right ankle. Lifting up through the chest, drawing the left toes back towards you. And then back in the opposite direction. And then back to center. Placing the foot on the mat, allowing the right knee to fall out to the right side. Lifting up through the chest, taking a deep breath in, raising the hands up to the ceiling. And exhale, folding forward. Folding a little deeper with each out breath. Feeling the stretch through the back, through the hips, through the hamstrings. And then inhaling the hands up to the ceiling, twisting to the right, taking the left hand to the right knee, right hand behind the body, twisting and looking behind. Shoulder blades down, stretching through the spine. Inhaling the hands and torso back to center and lowering down by your sides. Bending through the left knee, taking the soles of the feet together. You can hold onto the toes or hold onto the ankles as you lift up through the chest here. If your hips or hamstrings are tight, you might find that your pelvis tilts backwards. Just try to keep leaning forward, leaning over the hips, taking a deep breath in. If the stretch is deep enough here, you can rest in this position. Otherwise, you can walk the hands out in front, collapsing the upper body over the hips, over the feet, taking in a breath. And slowly walking the hands back, folding the legs in front, coming over onto hands and knees in tabletop. So taking a moment to get comfortable in this pose, to find the correct position, making sure that the wrists are under the shoulders, knees are underneath the hips, fingertips are spread nice and wide, and the tops of our feet press onto the mat, shoulder blades down the back. We're going to move through cat-cow here to warm up the spine, shoulders, and hips. So as we breathe in, dropping the belly down to the mat and lifting up through the crown of the head. Exhale, belly button to the spine, tucking the chin and the tailbone. Inhale, dropping the belly. Start to follow the rhythm of your own breath here. start to explore the pose. Moving side to side, forwards and back. Noticing any tension that you can feel within the body. Noticing what feels good. Two more breaths here. And then coming back to a neutral spine. We're going to drop down onto our elbows and gently rotate our wrists. Big circles. And back in the opposite direction. And then back to center. Pressing into the palms, coming back up into tabletop. Tucking the toes, lift the hips up to the ceiling into downward dog. Pressing the chest towards the knees, putting the head between the arms. If the hamstrings are still tight, keeping the knees bent. You can gently start to walk the legs, so bending and straightening through alternate knees, sinking the heels down towards the mat. We're going to bend through both knees, hovering them above the mat. Straighten through both legs and then sink down into the heels. Two more times, bending the knees, straightening the legs, sinking down into the heels. Once more. And then step the right foot to the right hand. From here, inhale the hands up to the ceiling into a high lunge. Find your balance. Exhale the hands back down to the mat. And then step the left foot forward. So here we're in a forward fold. The crown of the head should be hanging towards the mat. The arms are resting forward. We're going to inhale to a halfway lift. So we want to straight back. So if you can keep the fingertips on the mat, or you can lift up, placing them on the shins. Exhale, forward fold. Bending through the knees, inhaling the hands up to the ceiling, slightly back. And exhale, folding forward. Stepping the right foot back, left foot back into plank. Here you have the option to drop to the knees. We're going to bend through the elbows to the bottom of the push-up. And then we're going to press into the palms, straightening through the arms into cobra. If your back is tight, you can keep the elbows bent, lifting up. Tucking the toes, lift the hips up to the ceiling into downward dog. Stepping the left foot to the left hand. Inhale the hands up to the ceiling into a high lunge, finding your balance. Exhale, folding forward. Stepping the right foot to the right hand into a forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Bending through the knees, inhaling the hands up to the ceiling. And exhale, folding forward. Stepping the left foot back, right foot back into plank. Option here to drop through the knees as we bend through the elbows to the bottom of the push-up and inhale up to cobra. Straightening through the arms, dropping the hips. Tucking the toes, lift the hips up to the ceiling into downward dog. Stepping the right foot forward. Inhaling the hands up to the ceiling into a high lunge. Exhale, folding forward. Stepping the left foot forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhaling the hands up to the ceiling, slightly back. Placing the palms together and lowering them down to the heart center. Taking a breath here, you can release the palms and find mountain pose. Mountain pose, our feet are hip width apart. We tuck the tailbone, drop the rib cage, shoulder blades down the back, standing with our arms beside us. Opening through the chest with each breath. See if you can feel that fire in the belly, if you can feel the heat within the body. From here, we're going to find our balance on our right foot. We're going to lift the left foot, starting to tilt forward, taking the left foot out the back. You can keep your arms down by your sides. Only going as far as you can go. You can use a wall or a piece of furniture to assist. If you're also feeling comfortable in this pose with your balance, you can extend the arms out in front into Warrior Three. And then slowly coming back upright. Shake the legs, bending through the knees. Inhale the hands up to the ceiling. Exhale, folding forward. Stepping the right foot back, left foot back into plank. Option to drop through the knees as we bend through the elbows, and then inhale to cobra. Tucking the toes, lift the hips up to the ceiling into downward dog. Stepping the left foot forward. Inhale, high lunge. Exhale, hands back down to the mat. Stepping the right foot forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Bending through the knees, inhaling the hands up to the ceiling. Slightly back, placing the palms together, drawing them down to the heart center. Finding mountain pose here. Shoulder blades down the back. Tailbone tucked, finding your space. Taking a moment to check in, feel the heat within the body. As we find our balance on our left foot, taking the right out the back and tilting forward. Only going as far as you can go. And then if you like to extend your hands out front into Warrior Three. And then slowly coming back upright, bending through both knees. Inhaling the hands up to the ceiling and exhale, folding forward. Stepping the left foot back, right foot back into plank. Option to drop to the knees, bending through the elbows. Inhale, cobra. Tucking the toes, lift the hips up to the ceiling into downward dog. Stepping the right foot forward. Inhale, high lunge. So from here, we're going to transition into Warrior Three. So you can tilt forward, finding your balance on your right foot, leaning forward with both hands. Stepping back to a high lunge. Exhale, placing the hands down onto the mat. Stepping the right foot back. Option to drop to the knees. Bending through the elbows and inhaling cobra. Tucking the toes, lift the hips up to the ceiling into downward dog. Stepping the left foot forward. Inhale, high lunge. So transitioning from here to warrior three. If you need to, placing your hands down by your sides. Using the wall if you need to find your balance. And then stepping back into the high lunge. Exhale the hands down to the mat. Stepping the left foot back. Option to drop to the knees, bending through the elbows. Inhale, cobra. And then we're going to sit back into child's pose. Taking our knees out nice and wide. Dropping our forehead down to the mat. Allowing the arms to hang from the shoulders. Taking a breath. Noticing your heartbeat. Noticing the fire in the belly. Taking a moment here to sit with this energy center. To feel it within our body. To visualize its color, its placement. Connected to our digestive organs. Its purpose to energize and transform the body. Two more breaths here. And then slowly rising back up to tabletop. Drawing the knees hip width apart. Crossing the ankles. And we're going to shift our weight back, sitting back on the sit bones. Coming back to our first position, sitting with our legs crossed, placing our hands on our knees. If you're having trouble sitting before tilting the pelvis, just noticing the hips here, rolling the shoulders. With a lot of heavy energy in the world at the moment, you might feel like there's a lot resting on your shoulders. There might be tension through the neck and through the upper back. We're now going to visualize as we raise our shoulders up to our ears, inhaling, we're going to drop them and imagine the weight of the world rolling off the shoulders, falling off, dissolving, disappearing. So inhaling up and exhale, allow everything to roll off again. And one more time. Taking our hands together at our heart center. You can even place them over your solar plexus if you'd like to. Just taking in a breath and setting an intention for yourself today. Something that you intend to do. could be related to the solar plexus and the energy created from this space. It could be a task on your to-do list, a mindset, a self-care activity. Just bringing something to mind that you intend to do. Repeating it to yourself. Feeling it within the solar plexus. Feeling the transformative energy. And thank you for joining me on the mat this morning. Namaste.